Top books for 2026. We're not ready for 2026, but you could be in 12 months. Markets, volatile. AI, potentially taking jobs. The general vibe, somewhere in between cautiously optimistic and aggressively doom scrolling. Here's the thing, there's always sun behind dark clouds. And I know, that sounds like something your aunt would put on a motivational poster next to the picture of that cat hanging from a tree branch, you know? But it's actually true. So like every year, I'm gonna give you 12 books, one per month to turn 2026 chaos into your competitive advantage. Think of it as a reading roadmap or a survival guide. Now let's jump in and start with January because yeah, we're doing this. January, when everyone's making plans that 2026 will absolutely destroy. So let's start with a book about how to profit from things falling apart. Because this one could be foundational, really setting you up for the whole year. Nassim Taleb's Antifragile introduces the idea that some things actually gain from chaos. Not only surviving it, but actually improving it because of it. Your muscles, yeah, they work this way. You lift heavy things, you tear those fibers, and they just grow back stronger, baby. The gym is basically controlled chaos for your biceps. Taleb's barbell strategy shows you how to just position yourself to volatility that works for you. Most people, they'll be spending 2026 trying to predict the unpredictable, whereas you'll be spending it becoming chaos proof, which sounds way cooler. February is when New Year's resolutions go to die. Usually people just do what worked out before, which, spoiler alert, won't work in 2026. Now, Mike Maples Jr., he's a VC who bet early on Twitter, Lyft, and Twitch, and his whole career is about spotting opportunities that everyone else thinks are just stupid ideas. And here's the insight. Airbnb didn't win by being a better hotel. Uber didn't win by being a better taxi. They won by making everyone else's rulebook obsolete. Introducing pattern breakers. It teaches you how to spot these inflection points, when to be disagreeable, when conventional wisdom is actually just conventional. Being contrarian for the sake of it is just exhausting. Now, being contrarian because you see some things others don't, that's just called getting rich and genius. March, I'm gonna label it as people pleasing. Plot twist, it's not a personality flaw. It's a trauma response called fawning. Your nervous system just learned early that keeping people happy equals survival. Now, maybe you're thinking, I'm not a people pleaser. Cool, but understanding how it works makes you better at reading others, right? Your team, your clients, anyone you really need to navigate without stepping on landmines. Now, here's why this matters. If you fold when someone seems disappointed, you're just collecting frameworks you'll never use. And if you can't spot when others are fawning, you're just missing critical signals. The nicer technique from the book helps you navigate emotions without defaulting to, whatever you want is fine. Please don't hate me. April, the month when Q1 chaos hits and people just stop thinking, start reacting, and generally just make decisions they'll regret in July. Now this one, it teaches you how to make high quality decisions without incomplete information, which, let's be honest, is the only kind of information you, me, and everyone else will ever get in 2026 and beyond. So, Watkins' best framework, question, treasure, dragons. Frame every challenge as a quest, which is what questions are you answering? Treasure, what does winning look like? And dragon, what's actually in your way? Most strategic failures happen because people just solve the wrong problem. This fixes that. And after fixing your people reading in March, you can finally think strategically without abandoning ship when someone else side-eyes your plan. May. Now this one, it hit me personally too. Story time. Early in my career, someone told me I just wasn't strategic enough. That comment lived rent-free in this head for years. And I just really carried it around like baggage. But here's what I eventually figured out. It wasn't that I wasn't strategic, it's that my strategy just didn't match their strategy. And that way, we just all interpret strategy differently. Seth Godin's This Is Strategy asks, what are you actually trying to become? Not what's your plan, but what's your philosophy of becoming? This book is tiny chapters called riffs instead of normal chapters, which is either brilliant or annoying depending on your tolerance for Seth being Seth. And the key concept here is small survivable audience. Most people, they just want everyone, right? The more the better. Godin wants you to just hyper-focus on the people who actually matter. And after learning strategic thinking in April, May teaches you strategic being, how to define what you're optimizing for, and how to realize your strategy is valid even if it doesn't match someone else's playbook. June, that's right, it's mid-year performance review season, which is a polite way in saying Judgment Day. Learned Excellence is written by a Navy SEAL psychologist who literally created their own mental training program. This isn't 10 tips for success. This is, here's how we train people to perform when someone's shooting at them. Yeah. Now there are 5 mental disciplines: values/goals, mindset, process, adversity tolerance, balance, and recovery. Not innate, which is great news for those of us who weren't born exceptional. Now, this is gonna build your performance machine, and PS, August will teach you how to stop micromanaging it. July, summer, vacation, all your carefully constructed routines, gone. Michael Norton, he's a Harvard professor with 4.5 million TED Talk views, probably owns multiple turtlenecks, yeah, and explains the difference between habits and rituals. Habits, they equal what you do. Rituals, what you do with meaning. Serena Williams bounces the ball 5 times before every serve. That's not superstition, that's ritual saying, nervous system, we're about to do the thing. When everything's disrupted, rituals anchor you. They're a psychological steady cam. August, when your burnout hits and the voice in your head just won't shut up. You're behind, everyone else has it together, you're failing. Cool inner monologue, very helpful, voice. Gallwey's 1974 tennis book became a business bestseller because the battle between self-1, your inner critic, and self-2, your natural ability, is just universal. And plot twist, you already know how to perform. The problem is self-1 just won't let self-2 work. Stop instructing, start trusting. June built the machine. August is about not helping it to death. You got this. September is all about Q4 planning, what worked, what didn't, why can't I remember anything? So neuroscientists, I'm trying my best here, Charan, Ranganath, has good news. Forgetting is a feature, not a bug. Your brain selectively forgets so it can identify patterns and build intuition. If you remembered everything, you'd be just paralyzed going through 8 months of mental footage trying to find the important parts. Photographic memory doesn't exist. People who claim it, lying or using memory techniques. What matters isn't remembering everything, it's extracting the lessons that actually matter. October, it reveals who's got stamina and who's running on fumes and spite. 9 months of volatility will make anyone cynical. Trust is for idiots, people are terrible, hope is for people who haven't been paying attention. Now, Stanford psychologist Zaki has data proving cynicism doesn't protect you, it destroys you. And cynics earn less, sleep worse, die earlier. Fun stuff. But he's not selling naive optimism. He's teaching hopeful skepticism, strategic trust, and knowing when to trust and when to verify. Hopeful skeptics outperform, out-earn, and outlast cynics. And this is your Q4 competitive edge, gift-wrapped in peer-reviewed research. November is Q4 chaos plus holiday stress. So here's a book that's just fun. Will Packer, he produced Straight Outta Compton, Girls Trip, Ride Along. He went to Florida A&M, not film school. Wasn't connected, shouldn't have made it. His career is built on asking, who better than me, whenever he saw an opportunity. And the premise is simple. The execution is hilarious. And honestly, after 10 months of frameworks and mental models, you've really earned a book that makes you laugh while telling you to just stop overthinking. Imposter syndrome's worst enemy is someone asking, but seriously though, who better than you? Can't argue with that logic. And also there are a few guest appearances by a few famous celebs. December, reflection time. 2026 was probably a disaster in 17 new and creative ways. Zach Mercurio, Simon Sinek's lead instructor, found that people who thrive aren't the ones who avoid chaos. They're the ones who made others feel like they mattered. The NAN framework, notice people, affirm their value, need them. These are the 3 steps that most people skip entirely. And here's the full circle moment. March, it fixed your people pleasing. Now December teaches you to make others feel valued from authenticity, not fear. You start learning to thrive in chaos, and you're now ending it by creating meaning within it. Not bad for a year that could look terrible on paper, but let's just think optimistically. And there you have it, 12 books, 12 months, January to December. Will 2026 be volatile? Yeah. Will AI change everything? Probably, it'll keep on going. Will you be fine? Absolutely. You've got a plan now, and links to all the 12 books are in the description. And comment, which ones are you starting with? And I'm genuinely curious if any of you are just brave enough to start with Are You Mad at Me in January? If you can spare a few of these, I would love some. And hit the subscribe button if you want more of this. And yeah, I've got opinions about roughly 347 other books, but I'd love to hear more of your recommendations. And yeah, let's just build and own 2026 together. You're more than ready than you think. This has been a brief book club, and I'll see you in the next video.